Wargaming is an exciting time right now. There's modeling simulation, artificial intelligence, and we're bringing that together to help us develop a greater capability for the Marine Corps. As a program manager, it's very important that we look at how does new technology, innovation, and how do we accelerate that to our Marine planners? Because as they're planning, they're looking at how do we support Force Design 2030?
Objective 1, which is the Wargaming Zone, brings together a collection of wargamers from the Marine Corps on the educational side and on the operational side, and subject matter experts on wargaming from other services, from other military colleges, and a lot of other places around the nation, and in some cases around the world. So wargaming is really an integral activity for the Marine Corps to the campaign of learning that underpins Force Design. So it's one component among many that contribute to the decisions that are really important for the Marine Corps' future and how it's going to contribute to winning battles for the nation.
We have quite a few war games set up behind me. We have some computer-based, some more like a board game laid out in front of you with various scenarios, various levels of competition. So we invite folks to come over here and play some and get a sense of what wargaming is, the concepts of the games themselves, how to run a war game, but then also actually test some of our operational concepts, our tactics, by actually playing a game here. So we're set up and ready to let people come in and try their hands at it.
Leonardo, and we are the battle management supplier for both the Army and the Marine Corps for Mounted Mission Command. Our hardware it's currently on multiple platforms throughout the Army and the Marine Corps and provides a battle management system formerly known as JBCP. So what you see today and what we have here on display is all the hardware from that application. Okay.
Want to show me some of the things that you're excited about?
Sure. So part of our kit is the display components with the keyboard and the main processing unit with an intercom system. And as you can see, this is all ruggedized hardware that's utilized across the breadth of multiple platforms, from the M1 Abrams to the JLTV, all in between, artillery systems, etc. The rugged hardware is capable of providing not only the battle management system, but also do some integration with AP&T and a lot of video processing to include the driver vision enhancement system, which we provide for multiple platforms as well. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Try my best.
and adopted of the PMAG.
Okay.
Magpul makes the PMAG, which if I could show you one over here on this weapon system. So we currently field all the PMAGs for the United States Marine Corps, which is the adopted magazine. We make all other accessories, stocks, slings, sling attachments, grips, and everything is in a polymer, which is essentially stronger than steel.
Okay.
Can make it through a lot of the other requirements, matches all of the mil-spec testing, and so it matches the older components, yet lightens our weapon systems and makes the Marines more lethal. So the PMAG, using that as an example, is 10 times more efficient than the steel USGI mags that I was issued when I was a Marine. Right?
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any one of your favorite weapon systems up here?
Preferred?
Yeah, your preferred.
Yeah. I'm a SR 25 7.62 gun.
Okay.
Knight's armament. That's my choice. A lot of knockdown power.
Got it.
Big gun, 7.62 caliber. Reach out and touch them.
Yes, sir.
Way out there. And put them on the ground up close.
All right. All right. Thank you. Appreciate
Take care, man.
You do.
This is a pretty cool thing. If you're sitting up on a barricade, yeah, that's a big deal.
We want to get a little more fine-tuned clear accessory areas. Handgun, ammunition, magazine, whatever else you can. So you can get all that. Right now, on kit chunks of loads. Here soon, we'll be releasing our
Hi, I'm Max Klein. I'm the Chief Technology Officer at SCI Technology. We started off in 1961 as Spacecraft Incorporated, so we're a traditional defense and aerospace manufacturer. We have a couple different product lines here that we're showing today. We have AeroGuard, which is a counter UAS system. So this is a fully autonomous Blue Force interceptor that's designed with no human in the loop, where if you designate a airborne threat, so whether it's a loitering munition or a standard Group 1, Group 2, or slow Group 3, you can scramble an interceptor. It will fully autonomously do the path planning on how to get to an intercept point with the target, do a tail chase behind it, fire a net, and actually capture and tow up to 55-pound targets. And for targets over 55 pounds, and tow. And for targets over 55, we drop it down. So typically we have what's called a disposal zone, and so that's where we take a captured target to, so you can have EOD there to make safe, and then after that you can actually exploit the target after the fact. We have kind of, so same airframe as multi-mission, so if you take off the counter UAS package on it, put on a munition delivery applique. So this is a rail underneath that has 8 stations. So you can put 8 different munitions. Here we have an assortment that's made by Northrop Grumman that includes anti-armor, so both light and heavy armor, as well as 2 different anti-personnel munitions. So it's mix and match. With 8 stations, you can put 8 of all of one, or you can have an assortment like this depending on what your mission profile is. And so again, this can be autonomous if you want to put effect on an X and you know where the X is, or it can be fully manned in a loop where you can visually select your targets in flight.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Modern Day Marine really helps support the imperatives in Force Design 2030 because what began with how will we need to operate differently to accomplish what we need to in the future, followed by, if that's true, then how do we need to reorganize the Marine Corps and what equipment will we need? So Modern Day Marine helps fill at least two of those. In terms of the how are we going to operate better, and then what capabilities, what equipment are we going to need for Marines to fight and win in the future, Modern Day Marine helps look into the future and say, if you're going this direction, we may be able to help you with that. So Force Design is all about making sure we're ready this afternoon, but really in the future. And lastly, I would say, although some people talk a lot in terms of Force Design about equipment, in the end, Force Design is about people. It was in the beginning, it is today. So Modern Day Marine helps everything from the individual equipment that a Marine wears, how they train, how they're developed. It's focused on the Marine, on the individual, which is that's at the very center of Force Design.
Yeah, and then I also have like really good videos. All right, we live?
You're live. Go for it.
All right, so this is Drew Street with Havoc, Senior Director of Sales. We're a fully accredited mobile virtual trainer for calls for fire. So anything from JTACs, JFOs, artillery, infantry. Our terrains are up to about 30 by 30 kilometers, and everyone can jump in from distributed training operations. In this area, as you can see here, so this is the ready room, and everyone who jumps into a server will be in the shared ready room space. These slides will be sent out earlier, and you can all reference the same material here. Multi-user will be shared in this experience, and then for your mission set, which is run from that computer over there, you can jump into. So as you can see, it looks like they're in, zoom in a little bit. Looks like they're in Afghanistan here, Kabul. And you can zoom in down to the micro level to kind of see who's there. So enemy APC, another platform, don't have good intel there. And then here's the friendly forces. Looks like some soldiers, some MAT TVs, and some crows over there. So you can get a battle space picture before you jump in, and then to jump into the actual virtual reality experience where you'll have all of this equipment that we see at your disposal. You simply select this, and then what map you're going to go to, and you beam in. So that's it. That's kind of like a little preview of what Havoc does. I'll send over some more videos so you guys can take a look, but let me know if you have any questions. It's Drew at havoc.us.
No, am I on? All right, so, hey, Lewis, so this is an LRAD 100X. LRAD is a long-range acoustic device. Used to be the name of the company. Now we're Genesis, so we're a critical communications company. But the LRAD 100X is designed to communicate with people out to 500 meters. We've got another device that communicates even longer, but the desire here, or the goal of this device is to determine intent. So if there's a bad guy, a bad actor, you can figure out whether you need to do something a little bit larger or bigger than communicate, i.e. shoot. If there's an emergency, you communicate with your staff and personnel to get them to safety. or if there's some other notification that you need to get through a very loud environment, like a battlefield or a construction zone or some type of installation where there's a lot of noise around you, this will cut right through all that noise.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Like that.
That's for you to think, brother.
Just want to also show like the detail and how good it gets. Mind if I get the printer as well? Ready.
Hey, my name is Joshua Ortiz. I'm the account manager with Silvus Technologies. We're super excited to come out and support Modern Day Marine and show a lot of our tactical radio solutions. We've got some great products and some great packages to include spectrum dominance and allowing warfighters to be able to integrate their systems that are already programmed on record, that already have our radios on it. We're super excited to support the warfighter in any way, in any capacity that we're able to on the tactical radio side. We have a Streamcaster 4200, we have an Invictus push-to-talk, we have a Peltor headset, and we have an EUD. So this allows the warfighters to have cotton PLI, anti-jam, LPI, LPD functionality, and voice communications all in one small package available for any warfighter out there that has those requirements. Here we have the Prism. So our Prism is a 3 radio solution. So each sector antenna is 120 degrees. And in the center of these, we have a radio on each sector. What this allows us to do is long-range communications in order to sit there and set up relay towers for mountainous terrains or from operation center to operation center, allowing units to be able to connect to each other over longer distances. Here we have some different displays of our radios. So this is a 4400, this is a 4200, and this is the SL, so the Streamcaster Lite. So this is offered in a 8 watt or 20 watt, a 4 watt or 10 watt, and this is offered as a 1 watt radio. Here we have a drop-in module for UASs. We have our different OEM integration packages. So this is the OEM board for the 4400, this is the OEM board for the 4200, and this is for the Lite. And here soon, our 5200 Lite, our smallest board ever, is going to be readily available. Here we have our spectrum dominance capability profile, our networking on the move overview. This is for the NOTAM programmer record that can also connect to the ARV and the ACV, or the Advanced Combat Vehicle or Advanced Reconnaissance Vehicle. And then this is some other program notables such as OPFM, Puma 263, TrueAS, and LRUSV.
Okay.
It's this one.
What wording have you done exporting?
I know it's sawtooth.
One of these you can change the rental on. One of the policy numbers.
85 or 87, the Florida bank robbery.
how can Modern Day Marine help the Marine Corps exceed mission readiness requirements?
Yeah, two things I would say. Modern Day Marine actually is doing that now. So more than how can they're already doing it. When you bring this amount of vendors with this amount of talent and innovative ideas into one location, it just generates excitement. It excites young Marines to take these ideas back and expand them. And it also helps some of the younger vendors, the quote mom and pops, to figure out how do I get this wicked good product into the hands of Marines, because we got our acquisition professionals. Brigadier General Walsh is here walking the floor trying to help them. So I think they're already doing it, and what Modern Day Marine can do is continue to expand, continue to attract, and help us continue to focus those vendors on the things that are most important to us. Low probability of intercept, low probability of detection, logistics, sustainment. Those are lethality, long-range fires. Those are key themes that General Schirodi and Marine Corps Association through Modern Day Marine continue to help us do already. I would just ask they expand it and keep bringing the industry partners.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Ron Fleming. I'm Program Director for the UAS branch at Leidos. Here today we have our XP4, which is a subscale proof of concept that is going to feed into our XP5, which ultimately feeds into our offering for DARPA Ancillary. And then just past that, we also have our medium unmanned logistics system that's currently under an OTA. We're in competition to bring in that medium lift system for logistics.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Modern Day Marine allows us to interact with all the levels of the Marine Corps, everything from the program management to the procurement specialist, all the way down to the lowest private in the Marine Corps. That interaction allows us to define our research and development. A lot of companies have engineers, so we always talk about the art of the possible. The Commandant's looking for the art of the possible. This is where it begins. A lot of ideas come from interactions here at Modern Day Marine. There's a lot of problems that need to be solved, and this gives us a chance to find out what those problems are, and we may have been doing something that's a possible solution for the future.
Good. Hi, so I'm Mark Brinkman. I'm the Director for Advanced Reconnaissance Vehicles with BAE Systems. BAE Systems' role with the Marine Corps, the most passionate role with the Marine Corps, is the BAE is the manufacturer of the amphibious combat vehicle, the ACV. Right now we're in full rate production of the ACV personnel carriers, and we have delivered over 200 vehicles to the Marine Corps to date. We continue to produce vehicles every month. The next variant, and the personnel carrier has a vehicle, a driver, vehicle commander, and it carries 13 Marines in the back. Ship to shore, shore to shore, tremendous survivability, and has a remote weapon station for kinetic engagement. And that's the first mission role variant in the ACV family of vehicles. The second variant in the ACV family of vehicles is the ACV Command variant. The ACV Command variant has completed design and testing and is in full rate production right now. And BAE is excited about delivering the first Command variant to the Marine Corps by the end of the year. The third variant in the ACV family of vehicles is the ACV-30. The prototype of that vehicle is the one that's behind me right now. So the ACV-30 has a driver, a vehicle commander, a gunner, and also carries 8 Marines in the back, and it's armed with a 30mm cannon that can carry 2 types of ammunition. This vehicle is right now transitioning to production, but we're making a limited run. So we're going to make 3 vehicles off of our production line and deliver them to the Marine Corps early next year. And then the Marine Corps will take those vehicles and take them through another phase of testing. That phase of testing will allow them to make a final decision over we're ready to buy a bunch of these. We're very optimistic that it'll perform very well in testing, and that will lead to what we call a full rate production contract award, where the Marine Corps plans to buy a lot more ACV-30s. The next variant in the ACV family of vehicles is the ACV-R, or ACV Recovery. The ACV Recovery is in a design phase right now. We haven't made a production representative test vehicle yet. It's probably a year and a half in lag. The program is laid out to we kind of do these sequentially, so it's probably a year and a half in timeline behind the ACV-30 that you see behind me. Those are the variants that make up the family of vehicles for the ACV family of vehicles and what would field to the AA battalions. The other vehicle that we're here displaying today is BAE's entry into the ARV program. And the ARV program is focused on what will the new armored vehicle be for the mobile reconnaissance battalions. What we know today as LAR will become mobile reconnaissance battalions. Within those mobile reconnaissance battalions, there are planned to be light armored vehicles. Of those vehicles, the very first variant is a C4 UAS, command control, computers, communications, unmanned aerial systems. So for BAE, we were asked to take your baseline ACV and all these transformational capabilities and integrate them into the base platform just to demonstrate that the ACD is capable of doing that. So that's what we've been working on. We've taken it through contractor testing. We've started government testing. We have some more government testing to complete, and when that's all done, it'll all be compiled into a final report that'll be given to the Marine Corps to help them make the most informed decisions so that they can ensure that the Marines doing reconnaissance in the future have the best equipment possible.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Is Axon. Axon was formerly known as Taser, and as you can see, we have our big Taser 10 there on display right there. And basically, we were formerly known as Taser, but we've moved on to other types of technologies in the larger umbrella of law enforcement, first responders, and now we're trying to move into military space.
Okay.
As far as I know, the Marines are able to have X26Ps, which is our earlier version of one of our tasers. We're trying to make it so it's more normal that they can have our latest taser, which is the T10. It's a major leap from the X26P to the T10. X26P only had one shot.
Okay.
And you have these two probes. You're trying to get above the waist and below the waist. Whereas the T10, and you can fire it yourself if you want, the T10 has 10 probes that you fire individually. So it's a major game changer. You know, it's already selling off the shelves with law enforcement because you have 9 opportunities to create that spread to incapacitate somebody and make sure that you're stopping whoever you're trying to stop. And you don't have to worry about, with the X26P, it's one shot, and then if you miss, that's it. Then we came out with the X2 and we came out with the Taser 7, which had similar 2-shot solution.
Okay.
But now we have a 10-shot solution, which, like I said, you can try it yourself. We also have software.
Okay.
So, if you want to walk over here.
Sure.
And we also have software, which this is an example of Axon Respond, which is a part of our website, evidence.com. And basically, this is a body cam. One of our employees who is in the area has a body cam. Actually, this is DC right now. So one of our body cams is recording right now. And if I click on the live stream, actually I think it's this camera right here. This would just be a battery. So what happens is as long as you have a battery, you'll give it a little bit more. Oh no, it's hooked up to this drone right here. So that's really what the Axon ecosystem is. It's drones, it's in-car cameras, it's body cams, and then also the taser. And all these things are meant to make law enforcement safer.
Okay.
Non-lethal and less lethal, and we're trying to bring some of those same attributes to the military space.
Got it. Great.
Yeah. Then we also have some VR technology over here as well.
Yeah.
Power this on. I now have one laser, one target. I just need to create my own spread.
These headsets are HTC Vive headsets, so we've had a collaboration with them, and the headsets, they give training for using tasers. They also have firearms training. They put you through different simulations, and we also have community training, which may have less applications for the military right now, but eventually, if let's say military police, they'll put you through scenarios where you walk through and you have to make a quick decision. A lot of the scenarios now, they put you through scenarios as a civilian as well, so you can also empathize with what a civilian might be going through. We have autism scenarios, we have hard of hearing scenarios, we have English as a second language scenarios, all tailored around so that you can have more understanding of a particular civilian that may not, necessarily understand what's going on right away when you're trying to attack. So that's our VR as well. And we're, if you want to test it out, we have a game that we're a contest right now, Taser versus Zombies, which really gets your training, training intact, because you're going to have to stop. Eventually, there's going to be multiple zombies coming at you, and you have to be able to get that spread perfectly to stop them. So
I'll try that out.
So yeah, that's the Axon ecosystem.
All right. What's up with this thing here?
So this is a photokite drone.
Okay.
And like I said, you saw the view from earlier on the screen.
Last screen.
So we don't, at Axon, we don't manufacture drones, but what we do is our software goes through our drones. So there's many drones that are compatible with our software. Okay. And it allows you to live stream, collect evidence, and then send that evidence to your evidence website. So the software, which is at Axon Evidence.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Louis. Yeah. Hope that was informative.
That was great.
Good info.
Oh, my arm's tired.
Logos Technologies. We're a subsidiary of Open Systems of America. And I've just been talking with Louis. Is that
Louis? Sergeant Robinson, yes, fine.
Just been talking with Louis about our wide area motion imagery capabilities. And I'm giving him some contact information, so definitely go to our website and check it out. But
I have that.
it's kind of a, given the interest that I'm hearing you guys have, I think it's something you should check out. It's sort of an alternate imagery source. So give it a look.
think modern day Marine helps connect people in industry with Marines. And the reason that's important is Marines have a good sense for what they need, right? They know what they have right now and they know what they need to do their job better. Industry knows what's possible. So if they didn't connect, in other words, one would have the answers and one would have the questions. So I think putting them together here the next 2 or 3 days allows them to talk directly, where a Marine, an operator says, I need something to do this, and the industry can say, we can solve that problem.
Modern Day Marine is all about Marines. And here's the takeaway for our young Marines. Any Marine that comes here and visit, whether it's an officer or enlisted. The things that we see here on the display floor, the modern technology, the future technologies, these are the tools that potentially we could be using in the future. But the big takeaway here is how the individual Marine has an opportunity to be developed, to be armed, to be trained, to be educated, to be and continue to be the world's finest fighting force. So being here is not so much about the stuff. It's for the individual Marines to understand what they are going to be utilizing and using in the future.
Nothing even remotely close.
Good to go.
You'll see a red grid. Walk grid. See a red grid. All right, so don't go to the stack. That's where we are. These real world. And like get yourself walk that area. Again, this is just a demo purposes, so you can have the space, a bigger amount of space. This is just because we're going to get it in there. So rain, snow, you can actually shoot it, communicate. Actually, rain can still go ahead and limited on space because we demo. Control them and exposing them. Okay, so go ahead and take 3 seconds. That way they can obviously get those more reinforcements. Yeah, so you're going to go. Put them through the ranges, different types of also scenarios as well. again, if somebody has, and then we'll get into the actual security. That's what you in their office setting, so that way they can get in there and they'll get acclimated. Okay, hey, I'm in the VR world right now. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and clear it. Go ahead and see me phone if you wanted to actually look and drive through there. Okay, so plug your flashlight. Go ahead and engage whenever you're ready. Yeah, you can grab flashlight. Go ahead and reach into your hand out. Go ahead and grab that. Flashlight right there. All right, this one right here is nighttime travel. You understand, like, so you're the VR was undercover officer. I'm going to see the primary engaging in the driver. And the driver to the left and watch his sips. And then we'll take the left side of the barricade. See if you have anything else that's underneath it. So the traffic stop can be a road traffic. You can also stop sign. Stand up yourself. That's our legal standing. Now we're going to engage. You can turn on your flashlight. Let you turn around. Look behind you as well. You're actually out there, right? You're at a residence. So you got that control vehicle. Pretty good, right? So now we're going to put the scene under there. Your job is to cover officer. So that's just anything else. We have like 7 different. Yeah, you can turn it on. You are actually in there all. Coming through here. Now, yeah, you can get everything. Scenario. Yeah. So right here, we're going to go ahead and put your response to the package. Take the front seat. The file scenario presents itself right here. Take a step back. All right. So we talked about now we have that talking moment where we go ahead and review what we did and what did we see. Hands typically your job as a cover officer is actions. So we have the ability to go ahead and replay this, so that way you can see your actions on what you did and what put your hands up. Go ahead and go here. So like and also the ability to look at and have the audio as well. Take a look around right now. Take a look at that bag right here. That white headset is that right here. I don't know. That's where you're actually starting to operate. So whether the cover officer we have different managed areas that showcases from different angles as you can see. Unless you're in a restricted area, then they may no question. Show you what you actually see. So now, yeah, so we have that ability to go ahead and play that back too. Review your actions to see if you actually got cover concealment and different service points like we look at the other ones. So we go ahead and press. I'm gonna go ahead and put it behind the suspect so you can see yourself on a different side. So right here, you're in the corner side of it. So it also has the ability to play back the audio. So if you had set it. Exposing ourselves into this scenario. Good job on the cover. This definitely highlights some of the capability we have. So we don't know what it is. So we always how we do that. Yeah, so I get as big as possible. You can pick this narrative many times. How cool is that? This is what everybody should be having, right? So we have that creative one, so we can go ahead and just because you don't necessarily go with that, right? So we'll go ahead and put it inside there. SIG that you have next to it. So right now, you see a SIG, right? Right,
Yes,
go
I do.
for it?
Yes.
I just showed him this SIG. That's what identifies commercial disturbances that we so it's still
On there. And the SIG can go off of the branches off of the right
until I actually change.
So depending on whoever's inside the headset, will have to
showcase that it's
and maybe the subject is compliant because he met the objectives that we're trying to train. But if I need to get more out of this trainee, maybe I make him non-compliant to work out this. Exactly. So then I can say, okay, I need you to actually look at it and let's pour it on there. How comfortable are you in there? So he gets exposed to those guys. I got it. Yeah, no worries. Yes, definitely. Yeah,
we're with that same.
Okay.
That same scenario.
Yes, New York and also San Antonio.
That's right.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Let's have a great nice meeting.
Freeze, identify yourself. I said freeze.
There we go. You end up pushing him on the wrist and putting him back there, but you told him to identify himself, right? Good. Yeah, good on you for that. And then as soon as he went ahead and turned that AR towards you, yes, yeah, you were justified in that because with the opportunity, and he had the opportunity to go ahead and engage in, and he was intending on using that. So now we have that playback of where you were at. So we're going to do behind you, student view. Actually, in the corner. Where you are, see on the headset, you look to the left. That's when you went ahead and engage.
Freeze at the ice. I see the freeze.
And you actually hit him, right? You engaged. So outstanding. That was a good shoot right there. A badass.
Ready when you are. Okay, well, good afternoon. I'm Raman Dasmalchi with Command Aerospace. This is our cargo UAV. It's really designed against a future 2030 requirement for the Marine Corps. Mission sets or operating concepts like EABO or distributed operations. We're thinking about resupplying small teams, perhaps across 100 miles, scattered across 100 miles on the future battlefield. The idea here is we provide a fully autonomous resupply, entirely focused on logistics mission, a heavy-duty machine that doesn't need to be maintained by a squadron or a maintenance department. Rather, it comes out of a 20-foot ISO container. It's flight ready within minutes, and then it goes straight to work for the Marines in the field. And when it's time for the oil change, you push a button and it goes back to the rear area, and another one shows up, to carry on with the mission. So that's the general idea behind the cargo UAV. We'll have it here flying within the next couple months, so we'll have plenty of photographs and videos about how this thing works.
Okay.
One time of the year where the military gets together, the Marines get together with all of the different companies, and you can actually have all sorts of meaningful exchanges. They're usually very brief and concise, but every time we come here, and I've been coming to them since the late 1990s, we always learn something. We always meet somebody that is important to the future, and we get, above all, to hear the perspectives of Marines and get customer feedback that we might not ordinarily get. And this helps us determine how we should be making projects in the future. Like this is new for modern day Marine. We have a family of autonomous robotic training systems. Think of them as intelligent robotic role players that look, move, and behave like humans, that have speech, and that have reactions. For example, if you wound one of these, you see that, and then if you kill them, they go down like that. And we love Camp Lejeune. You guys have been at the forefront of innovation. It was Camp Lejeune that became the robot mecca for the Marine Corps and also really the world. There are international visitors who come to see the robots and who are also intrigued with the zero infrastructure range modernization that Camp Lejeune pioneered at Gulf 36 and Gulf 29, where they showed they could build a range in months instead of many years, and for 80-90% less cost. So the whole purpose of these robots is to improve lethality for Marines. McQuill did a study of 5,000 shooters that said it was a significant advance in training over conventional techniques and was value added in all scenarios. So this is an autonomous ground robot, and it's the only autonomous ground robot that we're aware of that's actually in the hands of any end users in the DoD. The wonderful work that Lieutenant General Furness, General Donovan, General Donahue, and now Major General Worth have been doing there. It's just been great.
Okay. All right, thank you.
About what we're doing here, these are intelligent robotic role players. They're AI-driven, they're autonomous. One operator can control 53 robots at Camp Lejeune. And if you wound the robot, he goes like that. If you kill the robot, he'll die. So I've been beating up on a shoot house robot here. But Camp Lejeune, they're pushing 100 of these, I guess, 70, 80, I can't remember the number. And this robot, as you can see, has been shot many times, and they can be shot with real bullets, non-lethal bullets, or with lasers. And they can see. They have got a laser down on this little slot over here.
Okay.
So you can have robots doing all kinds of close action. They can do precision drill and fun things like that. But the real value is simulating an opposing enemy force. An opposing enemy force that can outrun you, out-organize you, and see just as well in the night as in the day. And with these active thermal heat signatures at night, it allows, for the first time ever, live fire training at night. So it's a wonderful tool for learning, and our goal is to create pre-combat veterans. General Mattis talked about 25 bloodless battles, and we think of this as 25 bloodless battles with live fire, all to have stress inoculation. When you see these robots thundering at you, cursing you in any one of 57 different languages, it has a high, I think the technical term is pucker factor. And this is why stress inoculation is so important. Because we've seen again and again units tell us that the only time they've ever shot realistic moving threats is on the battlefield when those threats are shooting real bullets back at them. So you have this strange, uncomfortable dynamic where everyone is extremely proficient. No one is better at shooting static targets than Marines are, but they're static, and it's a whole different experience to shoot it moving. I can still remember it was General Alford at the November 2021 IITSEC training conference down in Orlando, and he was describing the capability, and he said that every bad guy I ever shot at was running. He said they didn't pop up out of some gopher hole and sit there and let you shoot at them. So to learn how to shoot a moving target in a battlefield is on-the-job training, and that's the worst place in the world for on-the-job training. So the Marine Corps was the first American unit to get autonomous robotic training systems, and now they're in every location, including Hawaii and Okinawa. And it's all our best ideas come from the Marine Corps, and usually guys like you, because they always say, hey, it'd be great if you guys could do this or that, and so I say, who designs our robots? And we design them. I mean, the Marine Corps designs them, really, because they tell us what to do.
Question.
Yes, of course.
For your off-road capability ones, what's the max speed on them?
Oh, they will, well, I'll put it this way. They will run a marathon in 2 hours and 18 minutes.
Wow.
So they will go at not quite linebacker speed.
Okay.
A fellow like you could beat them in a sprint. But in a 440, I think they'd have you.
Okay. All right then. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, you too. Thank you so much.
And good.
I'm Chris Ober, Technical Sales Manager at Antenna Research. ARA is a company, it's 4 companies actually. The main company makes broadband antennas. We do a lot of UHF SATCOM antennas, military, many years now. What we have out front here is the PRS-11, which is a GBS network, backpack, download only type system. This configuration here is a planar antenna, and we are moving towards what's called an AESA solution, so that it can be used for not more than just GEO, but LEO and MEO satellites, the ones that zip across the sky, versus the GEO ones that sit still. So this mock-up here shows individual elements. These would be individually powered by a phase shifter and a receive module, and as a group can be controlled to change the beam pattern pretty much instantaneously anywhere it needs to look. So it can very easily track something moving over the sky quickly. So for LEO and GEO type applications, that's the best solution. We have a dual panel version here. Basically, it increases the gain. More aperture means more gain. Tends to mean more throughput, more signal to noise ratio. And in some applications, that's very important. We do a lot of threat emitter type systems. Anyway, this is actually another version of a threat emitter that we're doing now. IFF identification system that goes on top of a radar. That's our whole moving video. ARA has a company called SI2. SI2 is kind of a SIBR type company, does SIBRs phase 1, phase 2s. Some of these have moved on to production level. Some of the products that they've been working on is something like this 40 millimeter grenade type item. As opposed to a standard grenade, we inject or basically print on it an RF circuit with a sensor built in, and this is something the customer would decide what's important. For instance, an acoustic sensor might be a good thing to have, as opposed to just firing it into the forward area and having it explode on impact. Sensor can be deactivated with an RF signal. It can be launched in an array out in front, and then after they've landed, they can be remotely turned on. So now the acoustic sensor will detonate if something moves near it. Okay. The beauty of this is that if you want to then move forward through that area, that you have provided this protection during a time period, you can send another RF signal to the circuitry and you can disable the acoustic sound. All right. So these units, again, these have gone through phase 1 to phase 2. We actually built functioning units. This is some of the red dust where it was tested, I believe out of Redstone Arsenal. Mm-hmm. And this was to show that it could survive the whole launch process, landing, the shocks and impacts and vibrations associated with all that. So these are actually quite successful. Again, it's one of these things that somebody shows a strong interest in a typical type of sensor. These can be installed and used as part of your pack out, your armament, whatever. Okay. ARA is doing a number of items, again, for the Marine Corps array. Mm-hmm. These are on the MQ-9 Predator. Okay. These are also, and basically this is a low band, a mid band, and a high band. So you have 0.5 to 6.5 gig, 6 to 18, and 18 to 40 gigahertz. Okay. So on the Reaper, on the MQ-9, in each wing, you have one of these, and it provides DF information, direction finding information on anything flying off, anything off either side of the aircraft. And this information is an RF source, somebody on a cell phone, somebody on a radar, something that you'd want to know where it was at. And as it continues to fly, it continually takes lines of bearing, okay, and then all of a sudden it can say on a map, that's where this source is. then you can decide what to do about it, right? So we provide these working with SNC. They make the black box. We make the antenna arrays. Actually, the Marine Corps just purchased 2 of these in a configuration where it'd be mounted on the ground and just be used in a fixed installation for some amount of time, packed up and brought to the next location.
Okay.
It would be same array.
Okay.
ARA also does a number of UHF SATCOM antennas for many years. Basically, these are all the same kind of capability, same frequency range, same UHF SATCOM satellites, but we make them in a bunch of different versions. From a 1 pound version, something like this, all comes apart. You now have a 1 pound, something you fit in a pocket.
Okay.
There's a 2 pound version. Navy guys tend to like this version. There again, this twist opens up. Now you have a 2 pound version. Again, you can put a handle on it, a magnet, a tripod, whatever you want to use to hold it. We have the 3 pound version, which is called the lightweight, in the beer can. Some people refer to it as that. And this picture in the back of the booth here, that's the 3 pound unit.
Okay.
Items appear larger than in real life, okay? It's this big. The RF3080, we OEM these to Harris for many, many years. This is the MUOS version of a standard unit. Probably seen many of these in the field. This is the 7 pounds. And then we make a 20 pound version. And this would be for a fob type thing. And we make a compact version and one that's about 10 foot long. Again, the only difference between all these is basically the amount of gain they get. More gain means typically more throughput, more signal to noise ratio, more users on the system. ARA does a number of dishes for different satellite applications. We do a number of, again, forward-thinking type things. The SI2 group, a lot with materials, RAM material, radar-absorbing material, to be used in vehicles to make Humvees and things like that look more RF transparent. So if a system is flying overhead and trying to bounce a radar signal off metal objects, you can basically hide things if you have a radar-absorbing material covering them, right? So we're doing this on some of the hoods of Humvees, which is a big reflective surface area. We can make different patterns on the hood. We can design and build antennas on the hood, actually print them on the surface. So we have a cone over here kind of showing a dual curved surface, that cone shape. We have a device called the gantry, and the gantry it's about 12 by 4 by 2.5 foot, but the gantry can map a surface, like I said, something like the size of a hood of a Humvee, a Predator nose cone, can map that whole surface, and then an electrical design, either a resistive design to absorb or a conductive series of lines that could be an antenna, or what we also call a FSS, a frequency selective surface. Now you have that surface area being dual purpose. It's an antenna and it's protecting the inside electronics. A lot of applications can come out of this.
Got it.
Some of the other capability here is etching onto high temperature materials, hypersonics, very, very fast moving objects. We do that capability also. Seeker heads, dual band GPS antennas, L1, L2, HIMARS system. It's in theater. We've been making this for about 25 years. This is a dual band L1, L2 GPS antenna. This is on the HIMARS vehicle to help with the targeting system. Making that for many years. Other than that, ARA has been around since 1963. Like I said, we're 4 companies right now. Each company is contributing a different part of the world of antennas. ARA originally was very broadband surveillance. We did the antenna for the Chameleon system. 2003 to 2009, it was the RCIED system that the Marine Corps used. It's affectionately known as the gumdrop, I understand.
Okay.
And since then, we've done other jamming system antennas, just sort of moving on. Broadband antennas for surveillance, if made into high power, can be used as jamming transmitting type versions, right? So it's a little bit of a conversion process, but it works well. Other than that, a couple of cell band antennas. Some of the systems, mostly CONUS, these types of things are a directional antenna to detect cell band, a cell phone, and that connects to a system that can then act like a cell tower and decide whether that person can or cannot use their phone.
Okay.
Maybe they're not a good person, you know what I mean? So we make a directional version and an omni version, again for the mostly U.S. law enforcement, federal law enforcement type applications, but a broad range of antennas. That's about it in a nutshell.
Okay.
If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call.
All right.